All right. What is up, Race Brain family? I'm so excited to be joined by the usual host of characters. It's draft day. You know what that means. We've got all the way from the East Coast, none other than Michelle Navarro. Is she the nicest woman in HYROX? Probably. Some people are saying. To your face. You should see what she says behind the scenes. Ruthless. All right, Michelle, is your official title at this point Race Brain Creative Director? Because it should be.
Let's do it. I'm down for that.
Okay, I think we have enough equity between the four of us here to overrule everyone else. So when Rich doesn't listen to this episode, he won't know, but we'll just tell him in the next team call.
That's fair.
And coming all the way from the mountains of Colorado, he just said pre-show that he might be on the podium of sweatiest hybrid athletes out there. I don't know. I think JK might have something to say about that. We got Jack Bauer. Jack, how we doing?
Not too bad. That's fantastic intro, Matt. I'm so glad that you mentioned that.
I know it's probably the best one yet. And hailing is 6'2", might be able to still dunk a basketball. Definitely not very fit when it comes to running. Raw Debo's biggest fan. You'll hear about it on the episode coming out in 2 days from now. The warmest man in West Dallas. We've got Brakken. I pitted out my hoodie, Crocker. Brakken, how we doing?
Doing good. You're adding inches to me, Matt.
I mean, you could use those inches.
6 foot 1/2 inch is the tallest I've been measured at.
Hey, you know, I think we talked about this. I was listed as 6 foot 190 or no, 200, 6 foot 200 in the program for college baseball. Yeah, Jack's met me. No, the weight was accurate. It was 15 years too early on when I actually reached that weight, but it did wind up being accurate. I have never seen 6 foot a day in my life. How we doing, squad?
Just a question on that. Is that only a guy thing? Michelle, like when you played basketball also, right?
Yes.
Back in the day. Did they like exaggerate your heights?
Not that I'm aware of.
I feel like you look at like a high school basketball team and everyone's 6'6", 6'8". They get out there, they're 6'2". They're just totally exaggerating.
My sister team's exaggerated height. She's been listed at 6 foot for several years.
Is she not?
She's not. No.
How tall is she?
I would say she's 5'10" and a half, 5'11".
Europeans.
They measure with shoes.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it a translation thing? Because I think they do centimeters over there.
College.
Rounding
they do
up.
Centimeters. We do inches. Is it
no one's ever been intimidated by the program.
Yeah,
everyone has to walk onto the court in the field at some point, and then you realize, oh, we were lying about our inches.
Yeah, it's all that mental prep. All right. Today's show, we got the Elite 15 doubles draft. I mean, it's the moment that y'all have been waiting for. Also, before we get into that, I'm just going to throw this out there, a little teaser. If you are going to be at HYROX World Championships this weekend and you see one Richard Ryan or one Jack Bauer or one Michelle Navarro or one Debo, Marcus Wallace, or me, maybe even Brakken Crocker, walk up to us. Why? We got one of these, baby. We got Race Brain stickers. We're handing them out. You're going to want this swag. Put it on your coffee cup. Put it on the back of your computer like I do. I don't know why I do that, but my computer is just littered. My work laptop, Michelle, is just littered with, I got Resolute coffee. I got Race Brain now. I've got like a Barstool sticker on there. I mean, they got so many things. Find us. Come get some swag. Jack, would you like to tell the good people listening to the show about the contest that we are running right now?
Yeah, so I'm guessing 99% of people listening to this are going to be like, you guys are idiots. That's not who's going to win, blah, blah. Like our draft order is going to be wrong. Well, guess what? Come and prove us wrong. Head to racebrain.media, our new website. We have a top 5 prediction contest. You remember those from back in the day from OCR? We're doing it again. Not going to reveal your picks, but I'm basically going to give you a score on how accurate you are, rank the leaderboard, and the winner will get a very nice prize from the feed. So it's worth your while.
Shout out to the feed. I mean, they got Lauren Weeks, they got Hunter McIntyre, they've got James Kelly, and now
Rich Ryan?
Race Brain. They've got Race Brain. Brakken, we're big time now, man. How does this make you feel?
I feel like the days of DIY diarrhea are done. No more mixing my own pre-workout. No more mixing my beta-alanine incorrectly and just uncorking the fire hydrant. No more trying to do the baking soda. You don't have to do that anymore. Now we can just go to the feed, get our stuff mixed correctly and accurately, and save on TP and new shorts.
Open the fire hydrant.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad that we're showing Spotify video now because I just lost my shit live on air.
That's what I'm saying.
Dang.
Literally.
On that note, Jack, Michelle, we got a big race coming up. Are you guys gonna bicarb it?
I
I'm not
actually
trying
have never
anything
tried
new.
that.
Well, Jack, you might need to adjust your percent of winner because I'm gonna be heavy on that
Be on
bicarb.
target.
Okay,
I might double dose that bicarb.
Matt, I'm just
It
going to give
might
you a
help
warning.
Even
One of
more.
the co-hosts here, he's in the top left corner of this screen currently, Brakken Crocker, may have had some explosive issues in the past with bad
I
eating before
tested
a
it.
race.
I tested it. Nothing new on race day. I tested it.
Okay.
And I did not have explosive issues, but I can confirm that I felt like I was going to have explosive issues. And like one BK said, I really questioned whether or not I could trust that part. I really did.
I'm just not interested at all in this. It sounds terrible.
Jack,
Yeah,
I have never had GI distress during a race.
I just gave it to you.
No, I've never had it during a race.
What are you talking? Oh, I was. the
We've
one who
lost.
did it. I
If this
thought
was
Brakken
live,
did
we've
it.
lost.
Jack,
We've either lost half our followers or we've gained 20.
That was
more.
you.
I forgot it was me. I
You
thought it was
left the
Brakken.
race course
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the
yeah.
first HYROX Miami to go poop, and then you came back, and then you beat me. So if this was a long con to get me to admit that I've lost to you in a race, finally, congratulations. But I've never had GI.
Michelle,
truly messed it up
Michelle,
in a
if you see Jack Bauer anywhere near bicarb on Saturday, you need to run
not-
over
Be
there
like,
and
I'm
knock
smart
that
I
enough
thing
am
to
in
down.
trouble. I'm in
Yeah.
trouble.
I will not do it. I promise.
I'm not gonna lie.
Sorry,
I'm not
Brakken,
gonna
I
lie.
stand corrected.
It's a
messed
game.
that one up.
It's a game changer though.
Yeah.
It's a game changer. Shout out to the feed. Head over to the feed. Morton bicarb. If you don't know, you can't say I didn't tell you. I'm just out here telling you.
No more mixing your own supplements.
No more mixing your own supplements. It's good. It's good. All right. On today's show, we are going to draft. Do we have anything to talk about before we draft, or is it Wheel of Names time?
We should confirm that it is the solo draft because you did say doubles beforehand.
Dang. Michelle, always our creative director, not only coming up with the beauty that is Race Brain, but also keeping us honest on the finer details. If I said doubles, it's probably because we literally were just together less than 24 hours ago recording the doubles, and now we're recording singles. Today is the singles draft. Singles.
This is
All
the
right.
second straight day that Matt's gonna end up disappointed.
No, my doubles draft is straight fire. Although I am a little bit disappointed in my Race Brain brethren because the Brakken has already sowed discord amongst me and my Milwaukee brethren. Dawson is already mad at me, and he's specifically mad at me for who I drafted instead of him in the second round. So shout out to Jack for sharing the results with Debo ahead of time. And
I didn't tell him to share it.
All right, let's do this. Wheel
Can't
of
put
Names
this on
time.
me.
Wheel of Names. Okay, here we go. Bam. And bam.
Clockwork.
All right, no ads. You see that, Rich? Ryan? No ads.
Let's do this.
As a reminder, I have a block because Jack. Oh my God.
Go and block me. Do it.
You don't need it.
Don't need it. Don't need it. All right.
How are you gonna screw this one up?
Definitely gonna screw this one up. I'm definitely gonna screw this one up.
I almost blocked you out of spite, but I'm not going to because I'm going to let you do the damage yourself.
I'm going to save my block, obviously, for next season, apparently, and I'm
They
going
don't roll
to take,
over. This
Yeah,
is,
those should expire.
No, those expire. This is a coupon.
Okay, fine. Then I am going to take who is gonna go first? Second. I'm gonna take the first pick. But then I get to use my block to the benefit of someone else on the show because I still have one.
Yes.
Wow.
I'll take the second spot again. We'll keep it there.
Going in order for whoever's next.
I'm gonna be so upset.
Rigged.
I want the turn. Give me the 4 spot.
All right, that means I'm gonna go first. Michelle is gonna go in the
Give me
2.
my spin. Give me my spin.
I gave you your spin.
Oh, sorry, I was on the
Jack's
other.
going in the
Ugh.
3. BK is going in the 4.
All right.
All right.
Time to show.
Time to show. Let's do this.
This is definitely a YouTube favorable podcast. So
No, not anymore.
Spotify video.
On Spotify, we now have Spotify video, so you can listen to this via natively and see the screen. Although it is not great. This is not a good. If you're a Race Brain Zone 2 listener, this is not a good Zone 2 episode.
every
All right.
going to episode.
Why is that?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, do you typically watch media while you're out running the streets of Milwaukee, Bracken?
If you're on the treadmill,
Oh, BK's got that hook
a
up.
lot of erg work and bike work in HYROX.
Lot of erg work. That's true. That's true. All right. Just a quick reminder for folks how we do this. This is cross-country scoring, which means we will pick 7 people. We will pick 3 guys, 3 girls each, and then we will have a wild card pick. Top 5 score. Lowest point total accumulation wins. How's that for a cross-country scoring explanation, Jack?
Much better than yesterday, which means you screw it up in the second episode chronologically.
BK's mind is blown.
I can't keep up.
I know. I can't either. All right, let's get it going here. This is the hardest pick. No, it's not. Give me Lauren Weeks, 1 of 1. This is the most obvious pick on the board. I said this in Wednesday's episode. Oh, Jack!
Wow.
I will share that. I love that.
Classic.
Shit! Holy cow! This is reaction that you're seeing in this moment is 100% authentic. I
I
had
didn't
no
give
idea.
any teasers. I remember I told you yesterday. I was like, it's gonna be good. Wait.
Only quality
Damn.
content here.
Okay. Yeah, you need to be, if you're not watching this episode, you need to stop listening to it and wait till you can watch it, because what just happened was I picked who I was picking, and Jack has a graphic on his Excel sheet that shows Lauren Weeks. It shows her season 7 PR, her lifetime PR, her world championship appearances, her best finish, her world championship podiums, and her major podiums, and all of her season 7 results. Jack.
Not only the results, the adjusted results from Jack's butt.
This is nuts. I mean, honestly, my mind is just like kind of blown. Jack, this is probably more impressive than you coming up with the name Race Brain.
I don't know about that. That's always going to be number 1 in my heart, but it's going to be a lot more impressive than your team, the rest of the team. Although I would have obviously picked Lauren with the number 1.
Well, you can already just go ahead and give me 1 point, because Lauren Weeks is going to win this world champion ship unless something catastrophic happens, which I obviously hope does not. You were confident in Rich Lio and just put their name on the check. Go ahead and put Lauren Weeks's name on this check. This is no disrespect to the other women in the field. They're obviously incredible athletes. I believe that after this weekend, Lauren Weeks is the greatest HYROX athlete of all time, on men or women. I think historically people think that this is just my opinion. Bracken's already got feeling. Some people are going to say Hunter. I think it's going to be Lauren after this weekend. I think she wins this. She's going to be the first 4-time world champion in HYROX. She's obviously a DecaFit world champion. She has the DecaFit world record. She has the HYROX world record. She crushes half marathons. Her fitness all year long has been improving, which is crazy to think that that's even possible for someone at the top like she is. She ran that Vegas race. It was a very impressive race. And I don't know if y'all remember, she was supposed to run like a 100K the week after. It got canceled. So she wasn't even necessarily like completely focused on HYROX. She's been dialed in since March. I just don't see, unless this new turf is just like so incredibly heavy that she can't move it. But I would have to think that they've accounted for that and have prepped for it. I can't say enough good things about her. And she's just so nice and like humble. She's the real deal. Lauren Weeks, she's winning this thing.
Hard to argue.
A single lie, except that it would take catastrophe for her to lose. Let's not forget that last year at this race, she entered the wall balls off the podium.
Well, yeah, but wouldn't you argue that, or couldn't you make an argument that what happened on the sleds was catastrophic? I mean, a 5-minute sled pull is.
It happens.
It is, but it's not like out of the realm of possibility here.
Well, I also said unless she gets really heavy sleds. I also said that.
Yeah, it's just no. It's not going to be an episode without us saying one thing to Irk Anthony, and so I'm just going to get it out of the way. There is, for as much as she's probably my favorite HYROX athlete on the females, even the males. Forget Rich. She has a history of world championship things happening. We've seen farmers carry. We've seen sleds. This kind of thing it's happened more than one time, which means it is a very real possibility. Now, have we ever
seen the same thing happen twice?
No,
because the knock was the farmers carries, and then she cleaned that up. Which is why I'm saying that it's been a whole year. The sleds were a problem. I would think that they've cleaned that up.
I'm not.
They are going to be different, though.
I'm not saying
that's true. Likely. That's fair. That's fair. They are different. No one knows.
It's just there are no checks filled out ahead of time. And I want to remind everyone that the greatest we've ever seen almost had what happened to Hunter happen, where she's now she was almost 8th place, right? So
yeah, she was 7th place after like lunges.
That's catastrophic. If that happens, we're having the conversation about Hunter, which is the aura gone? Is the armor gone? Is the legacy tainted? She found her way back onto the podium, but let's just not act like it couldn't happen, because as much as I would bet everything I have on her winning, there's a chance I lose it.
Yeah. I will say, though, the one thing that I think is worth calling out on that is that the difference between the only problem that I have with the Hunter scenario that you dropped is that Hunter had Worlds happen and then has had multiple opportunities since then to put the armor back on and prove that he's that dude, and he hasn't been able to do it. Whereas she's had the best season on the female side, hands down, of anybody else. I mean, you can see it right here on the screen. She won 3 out of 4 majors. The only one she didn't win was Hong Kong, which she's never going to make the excuse, and no one else will either. But it was an insane amount of travel. I hear you there. I mean, there are no sure things in sports, and that's why we run races. But I stand by what I said. She's going to win. Jack, do you by chance, and that's okay if you don't, because I didn't prep you for this ahead of time, do you have a breakdown of how she compares to Joanna on the sleds? Because I think that even if she has a bad sled, the only person who I think could really put her away there is the only person who has put her away there, which is Meg, who's not in the race. And Joanna has gotten better on sleds, but is she so much better on, is she Meg on sleds? I honestly don't know. This is not me making a statement. It's asking a question.
She's usually 30 seconds in the lead by then. So even if she has a bad sled, it's kind of hard to even tell.
Yeah. So it looks like Lauren Weeks in her elite races only, her average sled push is 248. Her average sled pull is 413. That's definitely pulled back by her slowest, which is almost 7 minutes. Her fastest is 303. So let's go ahead and pull Joanna just for the sake of conversation here, and then we will get to that second pick.
Well, while you're doing that, I just want to remind us all that the female field at HYROX Worlds tends to have something happen every year.
It's true.
There's a sled pull penalty. There is a sled mishap. Meg and Lauren have not been running side by side in years at Worlds. Something always happens.
Joanna's average sled pull is actually slower than are a little bit slower than Lauren's. Her sled push is a little bit faster, although she's only been in the 4 races this year, which have been a little bit faster, whereas Lauren's times are going to be skewed going back to old sleds. So like my point is that Joanna is not a better sled athlete than Lauren. So if the sleds are going to be tough on Lauren, they're going to be tough on Joanna too, unless there's a weird lane.
I do have a question for the panel, since Matt, you kind of brought up legacy. Like, this could cement her as the greatest of all time. I think she already is on the women's side without question, but Meg's not in the field. She had a different race where she was pregnant, so that kind of tainted that win. So how not flawed, but like how much does athletes not being there or not being at 100% affect her legacy, would you say?
To me, yes, Meg is not there this time. And I'd be curious, Brakken and Michelle's opinion on this. Meg is not there this time. But the difference is we've seen the ascension of Joanna Wettrick. And no, she has not won a world championship, but she's not a slouch. She's a Meg comp. She may not be Meg yet. She needs to win some more majors and she needs to beat Meg head to head in order to take that. But she's not a slouch. And I think it's fair to say this is the deepest women's field we've ever had outside of Meg. I mean, 2 years ago, it was like Lauren, Meg, a Cliff, everyone else. Then Michaela Norman came in and it was Lauren, Meg, Michaela, a Cliff, and then everyone else. And now I still think that Lauren and Meg are head and shoulders above everybody else with Joanna, but I think on their day, there are other athletes. To Brakken's point, if something happens in this race, there are going to be people in this field, whether it's a Kate Davey or a Vivian Tafuto or a Lucy Proctor or maybe a Sinead Bent, that are going to be there that could eat people up if the worst, or not even something catastrophic, if something tricky happens. And with that, I will stop talking because you asked the panel, and I'm curious what Brakken and Michelle think.
This is the same as any other sport, like in any world championships for track and field or something like that. If someone doesn't show up, that doesn't negate the fact that they still cement their legacy as the best of that year. So I don't think it changes anything. And to Matt's point, the competition is better than it's ever been. And we could see some really interesting surprises of how everyone's fitness shows up on, HYROX World Champ race day. So yeah, I don't think it changes at all. I think you're still showing up year after year, continuing to cement your legacy. There's no difference for Lauren Weeks here. If she does it again, she's cementing it even further.
Yeah, the quality of the field only matters once the field is decimated. You look at obstacle course racing right now. World championships finally no longer mean what they used to. But a year where Cody had an off year, or Killian had an off year, or Hunter wasn't there, the winner, there was no narrative around them not being the best. If a weird team makes it to the Super Bowl, it doesn't cheapen the Super Bowl winner. In fact, the weirdest example we have of the field determining the validity of the champion is when our own Matt Centrowitz won the 1500 meter gold in Rio. And it was the most stacked field in the history of the sport. They just ran slow and people wanted to detract from it then. So I feel like the quality of field almost never matters at a world championship as long as the sport as a whole is strong.
Yeah.
So we got 4 women. We got 4 women sub 60, or 5 women sub 60 now, which before this season, we only had 2 women that had ever done that.
Yeah. Over 95% of women who've run under 65 minutes are still active this year. So it's never been a deeper field than it currently is. I was just curious how you guys thought on it.
Put her name on the check. Michelle.
Oh boy. Well, I would say that this is probably the most challenging choice I've had.
This is tough. The 2 spot will lull you to sleep. This is tough.
This is going to be hard. But I think this has been the deepest men's field that we've ever seen. And truly, there are so many people that could win. It's just so good. But I do believe this person can have his day. So please give me Rich Ryan.
Oh, yeah.
Reach. What a reach.
It's not a reach. I understand, but I think that this is the race that actually matters. And what's in the past, yes, is in the past, but this is the one that matters. And this is what you're geared towards all year. You can show up and be your absolute best on this day. And I think he's just ascending to this point. I think he's had one of the best strategies this entire time through all of the majors to get where he wants to go. He's never been more confident, and I believe in him. So I think it's going to be his day.
I mean this as a compliment. One of my favorite things about Michelle Navarro is if you are one of her people, she will literally ride and die for you. Rich is her boy. She's riding and dying with her boy. And you know what? Respect.
He's going to do it.
Look, I don't know if Rich wins, but what I will say is he's got a shot, and I think that he is going to surprise people with where he finishes. And I think he scores for you. I think he will podium, because I do feel like this race is going to, we talked about this on the preview show. I think that Rich is one of the few people that's comfortable racing within himself. The other people are John Wynn and Pelayo, and probably Bo Wills is in that phrase too. I think there's a lot of other dudes that are just like bulls and are just gonna it's gonna be a bravado matchup early, and I think this race we're gonna see carnage. And if we see carnage because people blow each other up, someone like Rich Ryan is gonna be there to eat him up.
Anything can happen.
We have seen one winner ever from the men or women who did not have a token, like calling card skill win. And that would be Tobias. He didn't really have a calling card. He found a race that it worked out and he won. Outside of that, every single winner has had to have something that they could do better than everyone else historically. And Rich, of that group you said, of the smooth racers, the steady racers, he's the one with the biggest it. He has an ability to sled pull and to run and to wall ball that probably is unrivaled on those three independent stations of all the runners in the field. Yeah. So he has the thing. It's going to come down to race strategy working out for him or not working out. How aggressive will he be? How will the rest of the field mesh or not with that? But he has a puncher's chance, which to win a championship, you have to be a puncher.
Rich has definitely gone out conservatively in the past, made his way up in the field. That's not going to work if he's going to win this time. But we've seen what happens when he's stuck his nose in there. DECA Fit World Championship against Kent and Rylan and Dylan and a few others. He was with them, wasn't really pressing, and then halfway through the race, he's like, it's go time. And he did it. And we know how good of a closer Rich is. His legs are going to hang on for the running later in the race than most athletes. He can go unbroken on 100 wall balls. I'm putting him on the podium in that prediction contest.
Okay, to be fair, if we're gonna pull up something that's gonna stop the greatest of all time, if we're gonna talk about what could happen to Lauren Weeks, we got to talk about what could happen to Rich Ryan. I agree with everything that's said. The one thing that he's gonna have to watch out for, and we've seen this a couple times this year, is something is going to happen in this race that's gonna punch him in the face. One of the races, it was burpees. He was getting hammered for his burpee form. The other race, it was, I think he pulled the chain on the row too soon before he had put his feet in. And so he got a 10-second penalty. And both of those times you could see that visibly it rattled him, even if it was just for a couple of seconds or a minute. Like in a championship race, something's going to happen. It may not be a judge issue. We hope that it's not just like basketball, like this is a championship race, let them play as long as it's not egregious, let it happen. But something's going to happen. That's going to, whether it's a move or something, he's got to stay within himself and run his race. He can't let his mind go to whatever is happening around him. He just needs to stay locked in and run that race. But that would be the thing that I think he's got to watch out for.
For sure. And I think the practice of things not going his way and him reacting the way that he did, he doesn't want to do that again. And again, this is the race that matters. So to have had that practice, whether it was intentional or not, you're still getting it in. You're still adapting to the situation. So he's had practice now. He's more prepared than ever for something to go wrong and to react accordingly.
Look at that. Look at that 54-28 last time he was in Chicago. It's a good course.
True.
Yeah, I think you can throw. I mean, just looking at this, I think that you can kind of throw. Dallas is kind of the outlier here. I feel like you can throw that out a little bit.
It was a week later.
It was 7 days after the Chicago time, and he didn't really need it anymore. Like the 54 put him into the majors the rest of the year, and he did not have the start to the race that he wanted, but he closed very strong. I think he almost went unbroken on wall balls then. But yeah, I think the other question would be like, Brakken, I think you were the one that said this. Keep me honest, Jack, if it was you, but I think it was Brakken. If you're going to say that someone can win, you'd like to have seen them win. And that's the one thing from Rich that we haven't seen yet. We haven't seen him win a major in HYROX, and we haven't, obviously he's never won a world championship. He's won one in Deca Fit, but he hasn't broken through yet on the HYROX front.
No, and you're correct. He has a podium in a major, and that matters. But I think his biggest strength is that he has two viable race strategies that he has practiced this year, and most people have one. He can either do exactly what he's been doing at majors and run the Rich Ryan race and just mow people down and finish strong and wind up somewhere 2 through 6. Or he can run Chicago style, where he gets out pretty quickly, maybe not crazy, but by the time he's on the sleds, he has control of the race. And that is a little bit more risky for him, but it gives him the opportunity to win the race. But he's one of the only people in the field that has the opportunity to choose how he approaches this. Most people are either I have to stay back or I'm dead, or I have to go into it or I'm out of the race. Some people can't race from behind, but he has
pressure,
both.
The pressure as well to not be one of the ones that has won a major or has been the pick, in everyone's minds to have a solid, first place. It's just pressure on this day is, it's something to be considered for everyone in the race. And I think he's more than capable of handling it.
Yep. All right, Jack.
All right. Well, I think that there is one athlete who is head and shoulders in their respective gender above the rest of the field who hasn't been picked yet. And I've got to go with Joanna. She has won a major this year. And basically, if you can beat Lauren Weeks, even if it's your debut season, I don't see a way she doesn't end up on the podium in a field without Meg Jacoby.
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead and just look over at these season 7 results.
She's trending in the right direction.
She got better every single race, and then you can honestly throw Vegas out because it's a major, so all bets are off. She got better every time she ran, and then she absolutely cooked that Glasgow. She absolutely cooked that Glasgow course, and she's been over here in the States for 2 months training with Team Proven.
3-1-2-2. Those are her 4 finishes in majors this year.
Debut year.
Yeah,
she's on fire. There's no reason that she's not going to show up her best on this day and still perform just as good as she has this entire season.
Yeah, rookie season, 4 major podiums. She's probably, I mean, again, unless something crazy happens, she's going to add a world championship podium in her debut season. I mean, you're looking at I think Greg from the Rocks Life put out their ages. What was she, 23?
Something like that.
Yeah, something in low 20s.
Yeah. So let me just pull it up. I mean, you're looking at the future of the sport right here.
Yeah. Also, Jack, this is very helpful to have this information. Excellent job on
That's why I do
it.
Yeah, 23. She's 23.
There's no world in which she should miss the podium. Just like Lauren, could something happen? Yes. The only thing she's lacking is experience. So things can happen that she hasn't seen or experienced before, but she's one of those people that races beyond her years. So of the rookies we've seen, can she be considered a rookie?
Yeah.
I think this truly is the rookie season.
Yeah.
As of the rookies we've seen, I think she's the most prepared to handle the world championship stage.
Yeah, it won't even, by the time the Worlds happens on Saturday, it'll only have been 10 months. I mean, you can look at the date. It'll only have been 10 months since her first race.
Crazy. So great pick. I honestly didn't think you were going to pick her. I thought I was going to get her. But
not today.
the world we live in.
Yeah.
Anything else we want to say on Joanna?
I mean, not having Meg in the field changes the dynamic. I still think she's going to go out for the win, kind of like we saw her do in Glasgow, as opposed to
She's not going to race scared.
No, I don't think she's going to try to just settle for a podium
Yeah,
spot.
She went toe for toe. She went toe to toe with Lauren for. I mean, what even Lauren said that she was surprised when she got to burpees or row and she looked up and Joanna was still right there.
Yeah.
Well, you screwed up my strategy, Jack, but you guys left the male favorites on the board.
I know.
So I'm gonna have to go back men.
Okay, but in fairness,
order matters.
In fairness, I think that who winds there could be a bunch of combinations of how the podium shakes out on the men's side, and again, they have to race.
Mm-hmm.
I would be shocked if there's a combination on the women's side that doesn't include Lauren and Joanna.
No, those two are very smart. Rich is a gamble, but a good gamble. But I'm going to take the two people who I cannot see missing the podium unless there's something going on that I don't know about. And so I'm taking the reigning champ, Alexander Ronkovich, and I'm taking James Kelly.
All right, let's talk about Alex first because these stats are up there.
The only question about Alex would be that we haven't seen him a lot, but that could be the best thing that he's done. He came out talking an undefeated season. People were talking it about him. We were thinking, is this the takeover? And he very quickly pulled the plug on all of it. And I love that decision. If it solved whatever he was feeling internally and he's back and better. It's hard to improve when you're racing a lot. Fitness, you can improve your racing, but not your fitness. He may have had the chance to improve his fitness more than anyone this year. And the little glimpses we've seen of him, he looks pretty good.
Alex has the best average finish by any athlete at HYROX World Championship. That's
what is it? 2?
Safest bet. It's like 2.2.
He doesn't make mistakes. He doesn't crack. So I feel very comfortable picking the guy that you guys left on the board there.
Yeah. 4 world championship podiums. He's the reigning world champion. Like I was torn between him and taking Joanna. I just kind of took the safest bet to finish in the top 2, no matter what. But Alex, no brainer.
If this
BK, Jack, question for you. As long as you've been covering hybrid and OCR, is there a comp for this? Is there anyone else who we've like, because the thing about Ronk is like, he was like the next in line. All those years with Hunter, he was right there, right there, right there, right there. Then he finally breaks through, has his moment. It's kind of like
Ryan Atkins,
kind of like Froning. It's kind of like Froning and Matt Frazier, right? Like of like, okay, hey, we're going to see a generational run by Ronkovich, for the foreseeable future. But then James Kelly exists.
Yeah.
So it's like, is there anyone who had like a shorter reign of being the dude?
It's Ryan Atkins. He'd finish second or better pretty much all the time, but you'd have John Albin come in, you'd have Hobie, Cody, VJ later. But he'd always end up on the podium right there in contention.
Yeah. I like that comp. Listen, if this was a fantasy league and we were doing keepers on the men's side, Ronk and JK would have been the no-brainer keepers from last year carrying over. So James Kelly was most improved last year, and I don't think it was close. Did he get an Oker for that? Breakout athlete of the year?
I think he did. Yeah, I think he did.
I wonder if it arrived yet for him. I'm not entirely sure, and now he might be athlete of the year this year. So he has trended the way the people who are believers in him thought he would trend. And if there's a question mark, it's that he's over-raced. If there is a benefit to that, it's that he has seen a lot this year. He has made some mistakes. He has had different things happen on course, and he overcomes all of it. Even if he doesn't finish in the position he may have wanted to, which is first, he's seen some things, and that matters come championship time.
It's crazy. I'm just looking at the stats. Like, Jack, this stuff is so cool. I'm looking at the stats. It's crazy to think that he didn't have a major podium until this season. Like, it's just wild to think that, like, this is the same guy who got in because Tim Vinish had an injury and he got in 20 minutes before the race in Manchester. And then he had to fight his way all last year before he wound up going to the first LCQ and running that time in Cologne. But then now, like, that's not even a question. JK is in the field. Like, you could pretty much put him on the podium.
Yeah, he ascended and then he just stayed there. And he's been the most consistently up there this entire season.
Every year there's someone who comes out of nowhere. Whether it's Tiago, whoever. You either become that finish or it's a flash in the pan. And he just instantly said, this is my new baseline.
What do we think? I would say, just to be fair here, Bronkovich, for him, the question is, if this turns into a road race, I don't know that I would necessarily bet on Ronk to be able to pull that off. If it just turns into just a bunch of horses flying down the highway, it's not his strength. What would be the thing that would prevent JK from pulling off what feels inevitable this season?
I just feel like everyone is finally competing against each other all at once. We really haven't had that in all of the majors. Someone has been missing. So, like, again, just this is the day that everyone's there, and someone's strategy isn't going to play out. So
World Championships is so unpredictable. We saw it last year when Alex and Sandy and others just attacked from the front, and it just changed everyone's pre-race idea. And I think that the same exact thing is going to happen this year, where we're expecting something and that is not how it's going to turn out whatsoever.
James Kelly is maybe the most reliant on I don't want to say a gimmick strategy, but an atypical strategy in the whole field. His surging style of racing is his bread and butter, and his fitness across the board is good enough to be good without that. But with that thing, he could be untouchable. And we haven't yet seen him have that inaccessible.
He's been the best to adapt to any situation, right?
Yeah.
Probably
except for Vegas.
Safely. Yeah. But like,
even that,
most consistently.
He ran his way back into it.
He did.
We haven't seen him not have his surges accessible yet. And at some point, he's going to have one day where he just can't be head and shoulders faster than everyone in the rock zone. At some point, it's going to happen. You're just going to have a day it's not there. It may have nothing to do with anything you've done. Sometimes you're not at 100%, and that thing is going to be gone one day. And we haven't seen that yet. So if there is something that fails him, he could get behind on the ski erg, and he might not have those extra like Mario Kart mushrooms that he seems to just have unlimited access to in transition. They just might not be there one day.
Only place you can go from here is up.
It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter because you picked them both, but it is funny to see Ronk first. I mean, he is the reigning world champion, but I think if there were betting favorites, JK is probably the betting favorite to win this race.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably. Which is even crazy to think about Ronk not being the way we left 2024.
Right.
Not bad picks.
All right, Jack.
But you left the 3-time champ Hunter McIntyre for me. I cannot believe that I just got him in the second round. This is not the 2024 version of Hunter. This is not the version where he missed the podium for the first time over in Germany. Hunter is very confident right now. I know we say that every single year, but this Hunter is going to be a good version.
No, I mean, this is a great pick, and it's funny to say that this is a value pick in the second round, but we are talking about spoiler alert, when we do the top 10 of all time, you can just put Hunter's name down as one for the men. He is the greatest male HYROX athlete of all time, and I think the thing that I was talking with Dawson about the other day is like, this is a scary version of Hunter, because it's not just that he's confident, because Hunter never lacks confidence. He seems to be singularly focused. Like we've talked about this before on the show. Like, there were no side quests this year. There's no paddling. There's no Murph world record. There's no CrossFit, can I get into the CrossFit games? There was none of that. This is just a man who's living in the mountains, running up hills to the point of breaking himself. And I mean, I don't know what he's going to do after this, but he looks scary right now. He looks like the Hunter from 2 years ago. He's just huge. and he's fast.
But Matt, all those reasons you listed is because he can't get away with being distracted anymore. The field is that good, and I
agree. But when Hunter, I think this goes back to like OCR. When Hunter finally got like focused on OCR and started taking it seriously and stopped, I think he talks about this openly, like stop messing around with, drugs and drinking and everything else, then he became a problem. Like when he becomes singularly focused on something, the man is a problem.
I will add, though, I think that the best and worst thing to happen to him was getting 9th place in Glasgow. For him, on a personal level, it's like, all right, what I've been doing is not working. This is unacceptable. But it also exposed him to the rest of the field where it's like, this guy's not unbeatable anymore. He has a couple of times where he's shown up to World Championship and the field gave it to him. And I think that, yes, it worked for his fitness and focus, I'd say, but the field isn't as intimidating anymore.
This is perplexing to me. It's fascinating at the same time, because if he wins, we all know why. It's because he took it seriously and he's just better than everyone. But if he loses, we already also know why. It's because he couldn't get away and they broke him on the second half. And he knows that too. And so he's coming into this knowing that if he truly is as good as he's ever been, and he executes even close to that this should be a massacre. And if it's not a massacre, the 9th place in last year's Worlds suddenly start knocking on the door of the memories again. And so it's weird that he is the greatest we've ever seen. And he could have the biggest margin of victory out of anyone in this field. But he's also the only person with an absolute clear blueprint of how to beat them. Doesn't mean you can beat them, but you know how it happens.
Don't let him get out of burpees first.
And he's been going in on burpees.
He's just one that I feel like it has to kind of go his way. When it doesn't go his way, we haven't seen him come back from it. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens in this race. Obviously, Glasgow in mind, that was not the way that he wanted. So I'd be curious to see what he's got come World Championship.
Yeah, Brakken, I knew you were going to go back. I knew you were going back to back guys, and I was like, I'm going to take whoever you don't take out of these three.
I'm curious on it. Won't be outside the top 3. Hunter's the best chance of winning out of those 3, I still think.
Yeah, I think that the question for me is just going to be like mentally, is he as bulletproof mentally as he is confidence-wise? And what I mean by that was, people forget in Vegas, he could have caught Dylan. It's not taking anything away from Dylan, but he could have. He went 70 unbroken. He got almost to the promised land. And if he would have kept going, actually, I think if memory serves me correct, he could have taken one break and then picked it up and knocked it out and overtaken Dylan. But he wound up taking like 5 or 6 breaks in those last 30 wall balls. He said it was cramping or whatever else, but like, I do think that he's got a very strong likelihood of winning. I think the days of being done with wall balls before anyone else is in or even close to you is over. And I know he posted today that he's been training all training camp long with a 30-pound wall ball. And he posted a workout today that he did. It was 100 unbroken with a 30-pound wall ball. So like he's focusing on shoring those things up. But where's his mental state going to be when he's in a wall ball off with James Kelly and Alexander Rakovic, who have both proven, Rakovic more so than JK on what I'm about to say, of like, it doesn't matter how many no reps they accumulate. Rakovic is he might accumulate 30 no reps. He's just going to keep going. He's not going to drop it. And JK is pretty clean, and he's probably not going to drop it either. So when he's there in a dog fight, is he going to outlast it mentally? There's no question about his physical ability.
Can't wait to see it.
Yep. All right, Michelle, who you taking?
All right. I will take Vivian Tafuto here.
Yeah.
So she is on the trajectory back as well. Glasgow was an awesome appearance from her, getting her first sub 60. And we always got Decafit in mind. She was basically the second fastest overall after Lauren Weeks. And yeah, she's always been on on the around the podium as well at World Championships. So she's a solid choice, and I am excited to see her at World Champs this year. I think she's going to do really well and definitely place at the top.
Look at that progression. She started the year 14th in Amsterdam.
Wasn't
Las
healthy.
Vegas. Sorry, what?
Wasn't healthy though.
I know. I was going to add that. And then third in Glasgow. And she was last year's third place world championship finisher. It just goes to show you that just because your season starts rough, you have to overcome some of those health issues. That doesn't define how the rest of your season is going to go. She is absolutely on the right trajectory. You mentioned that DECA fit. I think she's got to be as confident as anybody.
Fact check me, I may be misremembering this, but I feel like her post-race interview after Glasgow was not one of agony. It was one of everything just kind of felt good today. And I was honestly never like straining or fighting. And that is a scary statement.
Yeah.
Because it can mean one of two things. It can mean that you were on one that day and you may never feel that again. This could be your flash in the pan. Or it could mean that I wasn't all the way yet. There's more waiting, and I just got months of training, and I still didn't go to the well there. I am really fascinated, maybe by more by her than any other woman in the field, to see what happens, because to me, it could go in any direction and nothing will surprise me. Like if she is challenging for the win, her post-race interview makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I know it's different races, but again, in an alternate reality where Lauren Weeks doesn't exist, that DECA fit race was wild to watch. I mean, she's fit. So
very.
The only question is this one pick too soon? She's the third woman off the board, but I mean, she's kind of Vivian fourth place to Fudo, you know?
Third
Not
place
year.
last year.
I think
Not this
true.
year.
You see that helpful graphic, Matt?
Check those facts.
I think she's the fourth ranked with Meg in there.
Yeah.
So it feels crazy to say she's a third off the board because of last year. She wasn't close, but
yeah,
like you said, it feels like she's on the ascent.
Yeah.
All
Matt,
right.
you got that back.
This is
one at a time.
This is tricky. I don't know. I'm gonna go with my gut. Gonna follow the loins. Give me the Kiwi. Bo Wills.
Follow the loins? Is that a thing I'm not aware of?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I have no idea what that
Is that
means.
what the kids are saying nowadays?
Brakken, come on. Some people are going to look at this and say that this is a reach. I don't think so. Bo is hot right now. He's ascending. We've talked a lot about his ability he was known as a closer, and now he's got the ability to run and still close. And I think that is going to be a weapon in this field. I am making this pick because of what I said earlier. I truly believe that this race is going to have carnage. I think that there's too many guys that are going to run hot and they're going to crack themselves. And Bo is not going to run slow, but he's probably not going to go with that first heat, and he's going to eat people up. He had a good start to the year. He has had an incredibly strong second half with a third place in Vegas, a fourth place in Glasgow. I just think that, he's raced and this will be his third world championship race. And I think he's just getting better and better and better. The only way that I think that this doesn't wind up scoring for me is if somehow everybody that goes out hot is able to hold it all together, which I just don't think is likely, because, I don't know if he'll be able to keep up with the pace, but I don't think that's the way the race is going to go. I think Bo is going to score here. I feel very good about this pick.
It's a fair argument. Never know what's going to happen on race day. And he's definitely one of those that's been consistent and consistently very much at the top, more so than previous years, right? So yeah, these third place, fourth place, he's very consistent this year.
Those are not bad times and performances to have leading into your world championship. So he's got to be as confident as anybody.
Yep.
Good pro doubles times too, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And he's going to be racing the race. And
Yeah.
then you got to just have a dog. You know what I'm saying? You got to have someone in a race where we're talking about how these bulk ponies, these Clydesdales, these stallions are just going to run out of the gates with wild hair going after it, running hot. You got to have someone with wheels. You got to have someone who can put it all on the line and hope that they put it together. Give me the German, Tim Weinisch. I think Tim can win this race.
Every sentence you said, I was convinced you were picking someone different.
Yeah, same.
I was like, there are 8 people that could fit this.
Yeah, 100%.
Till you said German, and then I was like, all right, I got this.
Like, all right, there's where we're going.
Give me Tim. Tim has had one of the best season on the men's field. The question mark is going to be, Tim is the European Dylan, in that if the race is in Europe, Tim does really well. If it's in the US, he historically has not done well. So there is a question mark there. He's already over here in Chicago. He's already training. He's healthy. He had a great race in Glasgow. I'm so sorry. I keep doing that. I don't know why I keep doing it. Hong Kong, he took second place as well, which is not easy travel from Germany either. He's going to go out hot. I don't think he knows how to. I'd be surprised if he changed tactics in the World Championship. I just don't think that that's what he would do. He has been so close to being able to hold on and sustain the whole way through. And this is going to be his 3rd World Championship. And I think that this might be the time that he does. I think that he can win. I think, Brakken said earlier, talking about people with a puncher's chance. I think that he could win. I think he's got a puncher's chance. But I also think that at the worst case scenario, he goes out hot and hangs on for a 3rd or a 4th. I think he winds up in the top 5.
Lots of 2s over there in those majors.
A lot of 2s.
Yeah, he was 4th place on U.S. soil in Las Vegas in 2022 at the World Championship. The only question that I have is he's had a couple of instances where World Championship shows up. We already mentioned that James Kelly filled in for him. He's had a couple times where has his body held up throughout the length of the season. Is he riding the line close enough? Like, I don't know his training, but we've seen historically in the past that he's coming to World Championship really close to right on that injury threshold, it seems.
But we also knew about it ahead of time, and all
I know
signs,
that's a fair
all
point.
signs,
Yeah.
all signs indicate to he has remained healthy this season. But you're totally right. It very well could happen.
You are
Brakken,
muted.
You
Brakken.
lost your audio.
No audio.
Unreal. We had a car
Amateur.
alarm going off.
Sure.
Unreal. I think there are 6 men who can and 5 men who should go with the first pack and not blow up just for having done that. And he's one of those 5, which gives him that chance at a world championship that as people start to crack, he picks up that energy from each one who slips off the back of the pack and is just in it longer and longer and longer. Of those 5 or 6, he has the biggest second half question marks because we've seen him fade. But he's also like that sophomore in high school sprinting out for every cross country race where he's making it further and further in some races. So he has a chance. And he and Hunter, to me, are 2 of the more exciting people to have in the field because we just know that they're going to go for it, and they also could falter, and that makes it really fun.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, Michelle.
I don't know how many people are going to come back to me, but I feel like I've got to go back to the women here. Please give me Linda Meyer.
Back-to-back Germans, baby.
She has continued to impress me this year. And honestly, anytime I see some awesome road race times or anything like that, I got to give them credit. And I feel like she's been super fit. I think pretty sure she ran like a hour 20 half marathon recently. Also has just been doing super well in the pro doubles, and she's been continuing to ascend in the majors this year. She has tons of experience and has performed super well in the past world championships. So I think she'll definitely be in contention for the podium.
She was buried in Vegas, like to the point where Till made a comment about it, and she finished 3rd.
That was the most up and down race I think I've ever seen on a live stream.
Yeah, Till basically was like, oh, and Viola's out, and well, it's not Linda Meyer's day either. Hopefully she gets healthy, and then she winds up on the podium.
And that's so important to know.
Yeah.
Because when you're seeing people's backs fade in the distance, one of two things happen. It either removes your ability to compete, or it fires you up a little bit and you say, I know I can still do this. And she has that card in her deck now. And sometimes you can't even access your fitness if you're gapped. She now knows she can. And that is really going to matter in this field.
For sure.
And don't forget, she was missed third place last year all season. And she ended up finally, after a rough breakthrough in Hong Kong, she got another podium in Las Vegas, US soil. And all those numbers are blue. So that means she's trending in the right direction for her times this season. She knows how to get it done. She has a second place at World Championships before as well. She's as consistent as anybody left.
Yeah.
Jack, you hold my draft in your hands now.
I do. And let me tell you, I do not know how Michelle went to New York City, saw what Dylan Scott did, and was like, I'm going to leave him on the board. Dylan Scott, you will not tell me to shove that spreadsheet up my ass this year. I am picking
Language,
you. Wait, I don't care. I don't care about your feelings. All I care
this
about
is a goddamn family show, Jack.
Yeah.
I did it just for you, Jack, so you could have him on your team.
I appreciate
That's
it.
That's a good teammate right there. That's your doubles.
I was going to say,
she just put it on a platter for you.
I was going to say, that's why I chose her for doubles. But yeah, Dylan, I don't know. He was like 4 seconds off the world record. And I know that New York was a fast course. He looked untouchable that day. He went sub-2 in burpees. This is U.S. soil. We've talked about this for a while. Guess the last time that Dylan was on U.S. soil, he won the Las Vegas Major.
Yeah.
He's going to kill it. I can't believe I got him.
I can't either. Honestly, I thought I was going to have 3 men who all could win this race. I thought I might have a chance at having the podium.
I thought Dylan was gone in the first 5 or so overall picks after what he just did.
There's only one reason he's not, and it's because of his world championship track record. But this is not the normal year for Dylan.
Yeah.
This is not. And there's not the travel. It's the same time zone. There seems to be some stability along with his crazy training. He tends to run in pairs. He pops one and he pops another. He just popped one. It's weird to say he might be the hottest athlete in the sport as of last week.
For sure.
I hate that you took him.
I'm so pumped.
I am praying for GI distress. I'm sorry, Michelle.
You hope
I hope it doesn't affect your race, but I hope he does not.
I thought you were talking about Dylan for a second. I was like, okay, that's fucked up.
No, I don't want Dylan to do well.
Which honestly, you know what? If GI distress or not, I think it was Dallas that he ate an entire tub.
Yeah.
He ate an entire tub of Nutella, and he's lactose intolerant because he didn't realize there was any lactate in Nutella, and he's
lactate.
He's good. And he's also, honestly, he's never been more confident either. And that's a dangerous Dylan Scott.
Would that be the ultimate, just redemption story, starting off 15th place, dead last in Amsterdam, and then closing it on the podium, if not winning in Chicago? That would be the
don't
ultimate
we feel
rags to
like
riches story.
Don't we feel but don't we feel like this has been building to this? I feel like I've as a first time host, long time listener, I feel like I've heard Brakken say throughout the years, one of these days it's going to click. You can't, it's either going to click or crash. You can't do that much volume and it not eventually either come due in terms of a blow up, which we haven't seen. I mean, this dude's just not going to, it's just not going to blow up from overtraining, or it's eventually one day it's going to pay off because he just did more volume than everyone else for years upon years upon years upon years. And maybe he's finally arrived, and I would not be shocked.
I think he's been here. I think that if we hadn't had last year's World Championship still kind of fresh in our mind, we'd be saying this already because we've explained away DC. We've explained away some of his races, Fort Lauderdale, and people aren't making those same explanations for other athletes. I think it's only because he blows up at Worlds that people are explaining it away.
Well, he blew up in Amsterdam.
Well, yeah, that was a long time ago. He also has had more highs than anyone else other than maybe JK in the calendar year.
He's got wins. Like, I think that's the one thing that you can't take away from him. Like, I'm looking at the board. Rich Ryan has never won a major. He's never won. Well, he's won Decafit, but he's never won Worlds. I don't think Tim has ever won a major. Right?
No.
Yeah. So this is the 6th man off the board, but only the 4th man off the board that's actually won a major. Like Dylan
won 2 of them.
And he's won 2
Dylan's DC got explained away as sleds were moving or whatever. He beat Hunter head to head in Vegas.
Yeah.
That's the biggest fraud check you can have. He passed it.
You're always beating the fields. So yeah, the field is
And
always
he beat James Kelly in that race. He's beaten every single person in the field this year, except maybe Alex because he had a limited schedule.
You know what? I don't think the hybrid raccoon listens to Race Brain, but Dylan, if you're on a bike pedaling 100K right now and you hear this, I hope you win. And I hope you give everybody the bird when you do it.
I hope he finds his next cancelable offense at the finish line because it means he did something well.
It won't be for me this time.
I don't know, Jack. You picked him 3rd. Not that confident.
You guys passed over him a lot. That's all I'm saying.
I passed over him the least. I want that to be known.
That's true.
All right, BK. Who are you going to pass over now?
I'm not. I feel like I took great athletes who were safe. And now I'm swinging for the fences. I'm going with athletes who I believe are on the come up and are capable of greatness, but could wind up middle pack or back. I really don't know, but give me Sinead, give me Seika.
Oof.
What? Explain the oof before I give my synopsis.
Yeah.
No, I can't do that because then if I do, then I'm tipping my hand on to who I'm up in 3 picks. Okay.
Gotcha. Listen, we have reached the point in the draft officially where the favorites are gone. And now it's coming down to, yeah, there's some stats, but it's mostly gut feeling on who we think is trending well. And if we look at how these athletes qualified versus how other people punched their ticket here, these weren't 4th place and 6th place roll downs. These were wins and 2nd places. These are racing your way in, which historically matters in a world championship.
Yeah. Look, I'm just a sucker for a good story. The Sinead Bent story is from being broke, jobless, and no car 5 years ago to now being a sponsored athlete by Gymshark and being on the start line of an Elite 15 field. Like, that's as much of a feel-good story as we have out there. The question mark would be, she's never raced a major. She's never raced in the Elite 15 field. That means something. May not mean much, but it means something.
She's the one that I fear the least about with the inexperience, though, just because she's got so much grit when she races. Like she's working.
That Barcelona race was
150% out there, and no questions asked. She's just going to give it her all. Like I said, I'm scared for her the least for the inexperience part of it. I think she's going to tackle it head on.
Before you put this in, I'm going to ask for the panel's forgiveness. Sinead is absolutely my pick. I stated the stats of another woman when I said a win and a 2nd place in the roll down. Am I allowed to say who I meant to say, or am I locked in verbally to my 2nd pick?
Oh, I think this is a signed in blood right there.
There's nothing entered yet. I put myself in front of the panel. I stated her stats and I said the wrong person's name.
You said Sinead and Sika.
Yeah.
I did. And then I said a 2nd place and a 1st place, not a 4th or 6th place roll down, whereas Seika was the 4th place roll down. So you guys just decide, am I stuck with, not stuck, do I have to take my word, or can I go with what I wanted because the pick hasn't been made?
Brakken has a history of this. You did this to Yvonne Sue for the Morzine Ultra Spartan draft. So I'm just saying, you need to do
You
a
know
little
what?
bit more research, buddy.
I'll
will
give it
say,
to you. I don't
I'll
care.
give it to
Whoa,
him. I
whoa.
don't care that much. I don't care that. Two people on the
I
panel.
care. I care. I would be using my block card right now.
You can use your block card.
No, I think it's fine.
All right,
Okay.
fine, Brakken.
So the real LCQ first place winner was
Emily.
He did say, yeah.
Was not indeed Seika Arnin, but it was Emily Dahmen.
That's who I was going to pick next.
Well, that's really unfortunate. And you
garbage.
can put up a vote for the panel too, and I'll vote for you, Jack.
You won't.
I will, out of the goodness of my heart.
I
Yeah,
don't
but then it
buy
comes down to a
so.
tiebreaker. I'm the host. Give BK Emily Dahmen.
I don't know. I'm the one with the spreadsheet. So now we're at
I have a block. I do have a block.
All right. Matt, wheel the names one more time. We're going to decide this. Yes or no?
It's already
Matt.
2-1 vote.
No,
I accept
I want
the
one
panel's
more.
decision.
I'm stopping the
It's
share on the
only
screen
fair.
Right here. This is
All
the
right.
only way.
This is true.
Drama.
This is a 50-50 shot.
50-50.
Unhinged race brain draft.
I thought
No.
we were 2-1 vote. This is a democracy.
You said you were on my side.
no.
You did
On the
say
next
that.
vote, I'm on
You
your
did
side.
say that. Yeah. All right, Matt. Just we have this. Brakken, you say when to press it.
I don't care when you press it. There's no timing to this. This isn't a carnival game. If it was, you'd win. All right, let's move.
All right, I'll deal with it.
Ball
Settled.
don't lie. Emily Dahmen joined Team Badass.
Isn't it even better now, Brakken? Because you won both.
Yeah, it feels good, but it feels dirty.
It should.
It's not that dirty. It's fine.
Sometimes that's better. So when this works out for me, I'm going to be excited. If it blows up like Yvonne Sue did only in that race, then yeah.
Yeah, we'll find out if the real ball don't lie whenever the race happens.
Yeah, so Emily is coming in as hot as you can come in. It's winner take all, and she won. Sinead is second in an absolute dogfight. That was Barcelona, I believe. And they're both just doing it when it matters with not the most or even the top 50% in terms of like pro experience, major experience, almost non-existent. I really like that for this part of the draft.
So we have a lot of unknowns about the sleds. And Emily actually had a faster sled push and a sled pull than Camila Massa, who's known as one of the strongest athletes in the field. So I think that if we have bad sleds, works in her favor. If we don't have bad sleds, she could still put out on all the zones. Emily is a major dark horse to make the podium.
So many new things that can happen. So many unknowns. She's going to be exciting to watch.
Yeah, I have team proven versus team unknown.
Which team? Oh yeah, actually team proven.
A double entendre, but meaning the people who have proven it, not who raced for Team Australia.
That's what I was trying to figure out. So yeah.
And Jack, if it were anyone else, I'd feel even worse.
Nah, I don't think you feel bad for 1 second.
Well, you've had too many sketchy Jack experiences for the draft, putting people's names down in white so we can't read them.
No, it was because of a formatting error at the
Inside
time.
information and not listing scratches, that kind of thing. I don't feel bad.
All right. I'll let it slide this time, only because the wheel.
I think these are good. I think these are good picks. You've got your first two picks. You've got team proven, pun intended, and in your next two picks, you've got team unproven. So honestly, BK just out here shooting from the hip. I don't know which way he's gonna go.
Well, each hip's got a different agenda.
I like these picks. I like these picks
For sure.
They're both young. Again, the experience is going to be the question for both of them. We haven't seen either one of them in a major, although they did both qualify through a high pressure, high stakes situation in a crowded field and in a crowded course. And so seeing that adjusted time of 60:28 is
Nasty.
pretty impressive because that course was jammed packed. I mean, that thing was tighter than a Culver's drive-through line at 7:30 on a Friday night. You know what I'm saying, BK?
Curds don't lie.
Curds don't lie. All right, Jack.
All right. Well, you stole my picks, but I am not mad that I got to have Lucy Proctor on my team. Top 5 or top 6 for both of the majors that she's raced in this year, heading in the right direction. We know Glasgow obviously was a fast course, but still broke 61 minutes there. She's young. She's aggressive. I think that despite the lack of experience, she's going to have a phenomenal race.
Yeah, her race style there was much better than 6th place.
Yeah.
What she impressed upon me with how she raced impressed me way more than what a 6th place could say at face value.
Look, man, she's short. It's hard for us short people on the ergs. All right.
She's 6 foot too.
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. She's listed in the program as 6 foot. It's hard for us short people on that ski erg, man.
Yeah, she went 4:27 and 4:34 for the ski and row in Glasgow.
Yeah, but when Lauren Weeks did a 40 or 58 for the first time, her ski time was 4:30. So
yeah,
ski don't matter.
Nope.
She's been trending up. Another one.
Yep. Got a couple
She's fast.
Yeah,
she's fast. If this turns into a road race, watch out because she's fast.
Exactly. Yep. I've got a couple of young, unproven women for both of my women so far. So we'll see how they do in their debut at World Champs.
Well, there's only one woman in the field that's on Team Proven, so
I'm not picking based on alliance.
It's a bad team. It's a bad dad joke. We'll move on. Yeah, I mean, I think that like I would have she's going to be racing from behind at the start because of the ski erg. And Jack, what's her stats on the sleds? Do you know?
For which
either?
Let's see. Glasgow, she was 218 and 343 for push and pull.
All right, never mind. Take it back.
That's
not a problem. That's not a problem. It's not a problem. She's gonna be good. All right, Michelle.
All right, I will go back to the men. And I will choose someone who has one of the highest ceilings that we know of.
Yeah, I know where this is going.
Rylan Chaddick.
I was going to say, I bet my life savings. I know where this is going.
Yeah, there's no way.
That's right. When you're in my corner, you're in my corner. And I absolutely believe in Rylan. He's obviously not had the season that he's wanted, but he is coming back rather quickly, getting more healthy by the day. And yeah, he's just one of those guys that if he's good, he can be on the podium. He can win this race. So I'm going to take Rylan here.
I think it depends which Rylan we see. Are we seeing the affected Rylan, or are we seeing the devil may care monochromatic matchy top bottom Rylan that just gives it to everybody? And the thing about him is that he seems to be able to turn around on a short timetable and make adjustments and improvements. And that's going to be really necessary here because New York was good, not great. And he's going to need great.
Yeah, he's someone that can turn it on, I feel like, instantly. And we saw that in the beginning of this year when he was on the podium in Amsterdam. So,
yeah.
Now, let's not forget, in New York, we had Dylan almost set a world record, and Rylan was about 45 seconds behind him entering sandbag lunges. He's fit. You can't fake 42 minutes or 43 minutes, whatever it might have been, of fitness there. He obviously imploded on the wall balls. I hope that that's his main focus these next, until race day, because that's the determining factor for him. But he's as good as anybody.
Yeah, I mean, I think that he's obviously coming back to fitness. He just made a post a few minutes ago about how, he ran today and he had no fear of his throat closing. Good. He's huge right now. And I mean that in a complimentary way. Dude is jacked. Good. I think that the question for him will just be, can he hang on? Because going back to, that Amsterdam race, he's kind of like Tim. He was way out in front, and then it just kind of came back to him. And then in New York, he wasn't way out in front of Dylan, but he was way out in front, and it kind of came back to him. So is he going to be able to put all of that out there? He also said in the same post that he's kind of been riding the line of like borderline overtraining because he hasn't been fit. And so he's been trying to cram as much as he can into 12 weeks. And like, he's not Dylan. And so like, could that come due? I don't know. That would be the only question mark. But I do agree with Michelle that like, I'm a believer in the ceiling. Like out of people who have not won a major and people who have not, I would never bet against Rylan.
Now I have a similar question, just like we asked for Hunter, where it's like, was that 9th place the best and the worst thing that happened to him? We saw that he couldn't hang with Dylan that day, but it might have also told him, hey, I got to rethink something when Chicago rolls around because this.
Well, he said he was cramping.
I know, but he learned from that.
Yeah. Knowledge is power. And again, you got to show up on the most important race day with all of that knowledge. And he's certainly gotten it every time that he's raced.
I mean, 2 years ago, everyone was saying that he couldn't figure out HYROX because he ran a couple races and he faded on, he had like an 8-minute wall ball in Houston or Dallas or something. He had the bad race in Anaheim. And then he came out in that Chicago race with Kent and blew the doors off people. So like, and he's someone who, if there's a doubt, like, yeah, I mean, he probably has the ability to BK said, like, I mean, he in a week or two can change his strategy and switch things up and, you know, they're going to be one thing I do know for sure. If Ryland's racing, there's going to be fireworks. And I love that. Oh man, you're
Brakken, you are muted again.
I wasn't talking. I was rehearsing. He's one of the few people in the field that if you give them 6 months uninterrupted, has a legit chance to win the world championship.
Yeah.
And talent doesn't hide. It's going to come out in some form this weekend. Yeah. How much of his ceiling remains to be seen. And again, he's one of these people that makes this race fun.
For sure.
Yeah, 100%.
You don't want him in there. He's not a guy you want to race against, I don't think.
How would you approach the race if you were him? Given current fitness, everyone else's strategy, you going out fast like you always do?
Yeah, don't shy away from what you normally do. Just play to your own strengths. Don't worry about anything else.
I'm a believer that Ryland gets more out of his fitness than I would. I think that he is at the controls, doing things differently than a lot of people would. And as a result, he gets it right differently than a lot of people would.
Yeah.
All right. Cannot believe that it worked out this way. For me, go ahead and give me, there's all this talk about Alphonse and being the Spanish Rich Ryan, but there is one true Spanish Rich Ryan. Or maybe there's an American, Pelayo Menendez Fernandez. Give me my boy sleeping in his own bed, home cooking. Pelayo's absolutely the right pick here. I mean, just like, I can't believe he fell this far. I mean, Pelayo.
Matt likes Matt's pick.
Oh yeah, Matt loves Matt's
pick. He approves.
Matt loves Matt's pick.
He'll pat yourself on the back.
You know what? Hold on a second. Okay, no, hold on a second. You want cold hard facts because we don't care about opinions on this show. We are fact based in elite races. These are all of Pelayo's elite races since he broke into the field. 4th, 8th, 2, 8th, 4th, 4th, 6th, 6th, 5th, including a 4th place finish at Nice. Pelayo is going to run his race. He doesn't care about what anyone else is going to do. He's going to run his race. He might have the best run ability in the field. He knows how to run his race. He knows what his strengths are. He knows what his weaknesses are. And everybody overlooks him for whatever reason, but he is Mr. Consistent. And again, I'm sticking with my theme here of I think there's going to be carnage in the men's race. And if there is carnage, Pelayo Menendez Fernandez is not only positioned to eat people up, but to break through and have a podium finish. He's sleeping in his own bed.
Look at his adjusted times right there. This guy knows how to run consistently. 57.
Yeah.
56,
look at that. Within 4 seconds. Look at Jack's
4
seconds. 4 seconds.
He's consistent across all year. He knows exactly how to pace this. 9th guy off the board. He's never finished 9th.
Sleeping in his own bed. He's going to wake up. He's going to wake up in his own bed. He's going to make a cup of coffee, of that sweet Resolute coffee, that geisha. He's going to get to the venue and he is going to fucking throw down.
I have not seen a kickback yet from Resolute, but we need it. You are pumping them so hard.
I don't drink coffee, but we need some.
Don't you worry about it. Don't you worry about it. Go over, check out our friends over at Resolute Coffee. They got hot sauce. They got good coffee. They got sweet mugs. Crush shit daily.
Wow.
All right. I mean, go ahead and give me the counter. I'm not going to listen to it, but go ahead and give it to me.
I mean, again, I still there's been no blow-ups, right? So if no one else at the top also doesn't blow up, where does he land? I want to see, like him push it a little bit because he definitely has the potential.
According to history, the worst that he's going to do is 8th.
Yeah.
Past performance does not indicate future
And
results.
he's the 9th man off the board. Let's put it in those terms. How about that? Let me ask the question a different way, Michelle.
Yeah,
He's
where
the
is he gonna?
He's the 9th man off the board. Does anybody think that Palau is finishing worse than 9th?
No. Yeah, you're right.
Jack
happen.
shaking. It could. Jack
Here's the
shaking his
world
head
that
no.
happens. The world that it happens is that he is conservative. The front doesn't crater the way it could. And the rear end of this field is full of lunge and wall ball masters who have upped their running.
Well, BK,
That's the way it happens.
If the front doesn't crater the way that it could, doesn't that mean that everybody timed their cycles right?
I mean, maybe they're cycling together. I don't know. It's a lunar thing. What I do know is that if the wall ball and lunge masters have upped their running a little bit and he's a little off, yeah, he could take 12th or 14th. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm just providing the how it does blueprint. That's it.
I will bet you cheese curds that it doesn't happen that way.
Well, I don't want to bet against him. I like him, but I will never pass up an opportunity for cheese curds, which I had for lunch today.
Is that just what you do in Wisconsin? Every bet is based on cheese?
No,
Dude,
there's a lot of beer.
I was going to eat healthy tonight. I am now going to Culver's tonight and going to get a double deluxe with some cheese curds.
Sitting in that drive-through for half an hour.
It was going to be Culver's.
Mobile order.
And we didn't want the drive-through, so we went somewhere else.
Mobile order, BK. Come
deep
on.
fried cheese curds. It was a spur of the moment thing. Lisa had freed up from work. We had time. Let's move on.
All right. In that next pick, I cannot also believe that this person fell to me. This is the 8th woman off the board, and you know what? That's just because you all are all scared because she rolled an ankle. Go ahead, give me the friend of the show, Kate Davey. Lock it down. Kate is not finishing 8th in this race.
I was hoping I would get her.
I will bet you double or nothing that she doesn't finish 8th.
That's a brain teaser. I like Kate here. She's healthy. She's training hard. She had her worst race this season. We won't even talk about Glasgow. Her worst race this season was Vegas, which was a letdown race, and she finished 6th. Kate is, before they adjusted the times, was only the 3rd woman to ever go sub 60, I believe, at the time in Amsterdam. Someone keep me honest.
61. She went 60-43 there.
Because they gave everybody 45 seconds.
Yeah.
Because of burpees, which for her is bogus. She's one of the best burpeers. There's not even a word in the field. And it was like something on the sleds, and she's one of the best on the sleds. I think Kate is capable of a sub 60. I think she's fit. She wasn't feeling well at the London race, according to our friend Greg over at the Rocks Life. Kate's not finishing 8th. I think she's a legit podium threat with Meg not in the field. And so for her to be a legit podium threat and be the 8th pick, this is what we call value.
Yeah. 1, 4, 3, 6 at these majors, super consistently at the top.
Was in 2nd place at the row at World Championships last year, and she's only gotten better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was literally only injury scare why I passed over her last time. I hope she's healthy.
Yeah.
I know. I feel good about this team. Oh, Matt feels good about Matt's team. Yeah, I get it, BK. That's because I'm going to wax you.
You went moderator role after your pick. You said, I'm taking her. Ooh, I like her here. Wow, good.
Yeah.
All right.
The question's gonna be health, right? I mean, that's gonna be the question, but she's one of the best, if not the best, at burpees in this field. She is incredibly strong at the back half. She struggled a little bit with wall balls when she first got going. Now, like, they train at the hybrid engine, it's threshold, volume, and then it's wall balls. So I think she is going to be a problem if she's healthy. If the ankle is fully healed, and that's a big if, and no one's going to know that except for her. So, Michelle,
I am up. All right. I want someone who is a fighter out there and who's bold. Give me Lauren Griffith. She's another one that's consistently at the top, and she is going to give it 150% as well. I think that she will continue to do well. She's always impressed me at HYROX and DecaFit, and I think her fitness is always in a great spot. So, yeah, I just want to see her, get to that top level. I'm so surprised that she hasn't had. I don't think she's had a podium this year, but she's been very close each time. So I think she's right there.
Is she the female Tim Vinish without the accolades yet?
Or
the way that she runs, like she runs without fear. I mean, that's probably a good one. Jack Ryland. They both run they're going to run they don't care what anyone else thinks. They're going to gun it.
Yeah.
The way her season started, her season started, she's coming off the board way too late. I think we're probably reading into a negative trend that may not be a negative trend. We're looking at times and finishes, and that doesn't always tell the whole story. She has the ability to go out with any race and be in it, which is, again, you talk puncher's chance at World Championship. It's going to click for someone. I don't see any reason why it can't be her. And this is kind of a nothing stat, but it's interesting that one of the best indicators of a good race is being the last qualifier historically. So it really doesn't ever go wrong for the 15th qualifier.
She has 2 top 5 finishes and 7th. Otherwise, she's not a beginner. She's been a world champs twice. Now this will be your 3rd time. It's on US soil. It should go well. If I were her, I would just go out a little bit slower. We say that most races, and then she might have a little more in the tank at the end and surprising people.
Yeah.
This is a good value pick. What is she, the 9th woman off the board? I mean, I'll never forget when this woman has blacked out in a race and come back to and finished. This woman has rolled an ankle or done something to a calf, some type of lower extremity injury, and finished a world championship, respect, and has puked her guts out in a chalk bucket in the middle of a race in Houston. And Lauren Weeks said, we can just run in Miami. And she said, no, we're finishing this thing.
Yeah.
She's got grit. And
stopping is not an option.
Yeah, she's not going. She's going to have to literally be carted off the course. And even then, she might still try to fight to finish. So grit in a world championship race, it matters.
It does. Yeah. Devil's advocate, it'd be nice to see something not go wrong. The more it happens, the higher your likelihood is that you find a way. But
we're not putting that juju out there.
No way. She's going to have a great race. She's due.
Yeah.
Would love to see it. Would love it for her. Jack.
All right.
I hate saying it. Jack's team scares me the most right now. So I'm hoping he screws this
Wait
up.
until you see who I pick next. I know who you want, Brakken, honestly.
You don't know who I want, Jack.
Oh, I do. I do.
You know who I don't want?
I was staring at that person in sarcasm, but yeah. All right. I'm going to go with the guy. And I think that Jake Dearden is going to have a fantastic
It's insane
race.
that Jake Dearden fell this long.
Yep.
He's 5th and 6th in the 2 majors this year. He's faced everybody in the field, basically. He's as consistent as anybody, improving all year. He's going to crush it.
Yeah. I had 2 gentlemen kind of paired in lockstep in terms of my pre-draft rankings, and he's one of them. The other one is still here as well. Shockingly, I don't know how. And I can't fault you for this pick. Your team still looks good to me. I don't like this. I really need Emily to pull through because you've done a good job. And Jake is, I think we can take Glasgow off everyone's that did poorly. I don't want to read into anyone's Glasgow, but I think that he has the ability to be a top 5 athlete here.
Yeah. And Matt, whatever you do not throw away this recording. Brakken just complimented me, so I just need proof.
No, honestly, this just goes to show the depth of field. It's insulting that he went this low. It would not have been surprising if he went in the 2nd round. Yeah. I like this pick. And the dude's got wheels. He's got wheels.
And he might be fresh for the first time.
Yeah. I say he's been racing a lot.
Is he the Rogloski of the men's field?
Well, no, because you actually like Jake.
I've never committed to that.
That's fair.
No, I don't know him. I assume he's a delightful gentleman, unlike Chris.
Chris is not a delightful gentleman.
Oh.
Oh God.
Yeah,
Lowest of
Jake's
the
going to do
low.
well. I mean, he emerged with that sub 57 when sub 57 meant something in Cape Town, put his name on the map, and then just kept improving all season. When you have 2 top 6 finishes at majors and have beaten many of the athletes who've already been picked so far, it's a huge value in round 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And it's hard to find a weakness in his game. If you are going to find a weakness in his game, he is not on the, he's probably middle of the pack on lunges and wall balls. I'm just looking at this. His average wall ball time is 4 minutes. His average lunge time is 3:10. Everything else is pretty solid. But if it comes down to it, that would be the question. Yeah, it will. And if the sleds are tough, we don't typically see people with really strong lunge and wall ball times. Yeah. So if that's where your struggle is, and we don't know what the carpet situation is going to be. It was in New York. It was miserable for everyone who touched it, although we do need to put a heavy caveat on that it was wet. So we do not know if that had something to do with it. Hopefully they're not spraying down the carpet inside. But that would be the question: is can he finish?
Yeah.
All right, BK, back to back. We know
well,
you're not
John Wynn and Graham Halliday are perpetually undervalued by us in drafts.
And you can't take both.
You have to pick one of each gender.
I am not one to get in the way of history. So I will not be picking either of these gentlemen.
Interesting lead-in.
Thank you. I want to give them their flowers without picking them. They should be picked already.
Hey,
but
you've been disrespected. I'm just going to disrespect you again.
Yeah. Tom Rogers, I had along the lines of Jake Dearden, and I'm going to pick him right now because I think I'm putting them up. I'm just picking the LCQ winners because I believe it matters. I believe it shows one provable fact, which is they're fit and good at racing recently. I'm going to go with that. And then Ida Steensgaard is still around, has not been doing any OCR. Jack and I were just over at a mini world championship field event in the Middle East, and anyone who was there was saying Ida's not doing this kind of thing because she's just preparing for HYROX. She has already been, top 6 ranked coming in here without really being all in on HYROX, and now she is. I just think that Ida has an actual chance to fight for a podium, and there are very few people like that left on this board. So give me those two.
Yeah, if we're looking at Barcelona, the last chance qualifier, Tom Rogers beat probably close to 10, 12 athletes who have run in a major before, and he decimated the field. He ended up beating John Wynn by over a minute, and John Wynn's in this race. So yeah, he's a huge sleeper pick.
That's a good pick.
It feels good to be cordial with you today.
And
Ida, same thing. I mean, she came into her first major, third, for Hong Kong. She got third, so
4th. Yep.
I thought she got third there. Maybe not.
I think
the only thing that I've got no rebuttal on Tom Rogers. Dude has earned the respect. He was flying in the LCQ. People, doubted him. He gave him the double bird a la Dylan Scott. My question about Ida would be, and maybe this is recency bias. We saw her race. We've seen her race twice this spring. She raced in the Middle East with a 103 high. And then on a fast Berlin course, she ran a 103.10, which is not a bad time, but she took 8th in the field. Now, I don't know health. I think she was coming back from an injury. There's also the point of, I guess, to be intellectually honest, for other people that have never raced in a championship race, we're talking about experience. And to BK's point, this is one of the most, where do you all have her on the greatest of all time OCR rankings?
She's 4 or 5, probably.
Yeah. So she's a top 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like a top 5, top 6 OCR athlete of all time with different. If I'm not the OCR guy, different world championships across different events, correct? Like different style events.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't put it past her, but is she going to put it together in time?
She's a gamer historically, which matters. And I don't know her that well, and I don't have inside intel, just hearsay from other OCR athletes. She seems to be more in on this than she's been. And you combine those two with her engine that she already built in another field. Her odds of surprising people here, I think, are very high.
Yeah.
I definitely would have picked her next if she was still around. So,
yeah. Well, we know you would because she's European and she's an OCR athlete. So.
how many European OCR athletes? I think I only have, none on it.
Well, there's not that many. But wait till next year when Heinek's in the field. Wait till next year when Heinek's going number one. Jack's taking him number one.
Rich going number 2 was a shocker.
Yeah, Heinek's going 1 of 1 if Jack gets the first pick. All right, Jack.
I don't care what you guys say. Heinek's going to be a problem next year.
It will be a problem. Make fun of my pick. I'm going on record. Richard Heineck will be in the Elite 15 next year.
All right. Well, Richard Heinek's not in this race, Jack. So who are you taking?
I know. All right.
Be a wild card.
I don't think we're gonna do that. I also was very impressed with the last chance qualifier, and I'm gonna go with Melanie Maurer. I think that she has a ton of experience at professional level racing. And she's just a gamer, and I just look at the improvement: 107.53 down to 101.03 over the course of 5-6 months. She's on fire. She beat several people in Barcelona. She proved she can run really fast on that fast Berlin course. She was ahead of Ida.
She's a professional athlete. She's a professional
and has been for a long time.
Yeah, and a professional triathlete. She's won some elite 70.3s. So she's an endurance dog.
And what we know is that we don't know what the sleds are going to be like.
Mm-hmm.
But they're going to be one of 3 things: fast, normal, or slow. And if they are fast, right?
Good enough.
Those are the only 3 possibilities they could be, which gives it a 33% chance of giving her an advantage over the entire field. If she can get through sleds and just start running again, suddenly we might be seeing her real high up there. So scoff at the intro to that, but the outro states that she has a real chance in a certain outcome of the sleds, and no one knows what the sled's going to be like.
And triathletes seem to pace very well. We've seen it Pelayo on the men's side. And I think that Melanie will know her body, know that this is going to be about an hour-long race. Just pace it well.
But like the other triathletes, her weakness is wall balls. And if it comes down to a wall ball off, that would be the question.
Yeah, which again, it will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it depends on how much of a lead does she have when she gets there. All right, Michelle.
Alrighty. Well, I think last chance qualifier was exciting for everybody. So give me Hiddy Wiersma here. He was someone that was up in the top for a lot of this race. And I think that people coming into this for the first time against everybody is exciting. And I think that momentum and that motivation is going to play a big factor into their performance. So I think he's going to do super well for his first time racing against all of the elites.
He's an upside guy. We don't know what we're going to get, but there's a real chance he could be very good.
Same deal with what we saw with Tom Rogers. He had to take down everybody in the sport who wanted that final spot, and he got it in Barcelona, and that was not too long ago. He qualified for Elite 15 doubles. I know he's primarily done a lot of doubles in the past. This guy is aggressive. It's just all going to come down to Kenny Wallball at the end.
Yeah. And I want to dog his wall balls, but you're right. He did in a stacked. I mean, that LCQ was 40 dudes deep and he held them off. It's a good pick. It's a good pick. To the surprise of nobody on the panel, this just set me up perfectly to just absolutely love my team. I'm going to be laughing all the way to the bank. I have to pick a female. So go ahead and give me Team Proven's, the Aussie, Jess Petro, the most improved athlete this season.
It's a crime she's taking this late.
Yeah, I know. I mean, now, BK, you should be shaking when you look at my team. No, you should be shaking.
She raced 6 straight months right there.
Yeah. And she did have a tough race in Vegas. She had a great race in Glasgow. She had a good race in Hong Kong, a good race in Amsterdam. What I like about this is that everyone is taking it seriously. Obviously you're not in the Elite 15 field. If you're not, she has been down at Team Proven Training Camp in Nashville with JK and Tia, and they've been at camp since middle of April. And I don't know. I'm a believer in what they're doing. And I think that she is definitely going to be, she's the 12th woman off the board. She's scoring from that position. And, go ahead.
Well, most improved, yes. But she's almost raced almost every single month. And it started to go in the wrong direction a little. So just playing devil's advocate. I'm a fan of hers. I want her to do well, even if she's on Team Proven. But she has raced a lot. So she has great experience this year. She's improved a lot. But you can only go to the well so many times. My hope is that we don't find out that she has a regret over her season, which is I raced one or two too many times.
But she's going to be fresh. She hasn't raced in 3 months. That's fresh.
It's fresh, unless there was a forced break.
That's fresh. And then for my wild card, can't believe that. This also feels disrespectful. The 13th dude off the board. Give me, man, am I actually Team Europe? Jack and I switched. Yeah. Give me the Scot, Graham Halliday.
I already said he was taken too late. Now he was definitely taken too late.
Yeah, 13th man off the board. He's finished 5th at World Championships. He's been on the podium twice. He did not have the early spring that he would have liked because he had an overuse injury, I believe, but he is now back to peak fitness. He's always been incredibly strong on the stations. He's right there with Bo Wills in terms of if he's anywhere near you on the lunges or the wall balls, you are in trouble. And now he can run. And again, I'm going to keep saying this until I'm blue in the face. I think that this race is going to have carnage at the front. And if there's carnage, my guy Graham is going to be there just eating people up, reeling them in.
If you look at how his season ended last year with the 5th place at Worlds and then started this year 3rd place in Hong Kong after a couple of wins at local races, there was no reason why he wasn't destined to be fighting for the podium. It was just that injury. That's a big deal. He's still qualified. It's been a while, but his last hometown race didn't go as expected, but he has a track record to finish in the top 5 realistically if he has a good day.
For me, it's not as much the injury as how he got it. When you get an injury, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
When you get an injury and rush it like that, it always gives me pause that you're not going to double down and try to make up for lost time. I'm not saying that's what he did, but seems to be my role on this episode. How could things go wrong? That could be how they go wrong. Trying to chew too much training in too little amount of time to try to be ready. Glasgow certainly didn't make him want to train less.
Yeah, we saw it on the women's side where Meg Jacoby just isn't healthy yet after an injury, and it's hard to get back into full shape that quickly.
Yeah.
All right, Michelle.
Well, we have a world champ still on this list. Give me Chris Rogowski, please.
Oh.
Talk about an awesome story this year. She fought her way back. That last chance qualifier was awesome. What a performance from her. She's just trending in the right direction here. I think she's going to do great.
I don't want to say it, but Barcelona was very impressive and encouraging.
So impressive.
I'm clearly on Team Barca here. This is the sign that she's been waiting for. She's been the comeback has been a long one, but she's kind of back to where you might have even expected her to be, which is in a big major race, top 5, primed to do well at World Championships. Will she run 100 this weekend? I don't know. If she doesn't, I think she has a good shot here.
Don't forget that Chris thought she had that last spot clinched by the time she crossed the finish line in Barcelona at the last chance qualifier. So she was racing. She
didn't lose to third place.
No, head to head. Fortunately, both of them got in because we were a little miffed at both of their situations. It would have stopped for
exactly. And she's fresh. She hadn't run any ultras.
She's gonna crush it.
I'll never forget when I sent her a message and said, "Congrats. History says that you'll find a way in." She responded back to me and said, "Who says I'm not already in? That's that dog." She's gonna be a problem. She's gonna be a problem.
Brakken, would you have taken her if she lasted?
No, I have my eye on someone for the last 3 rounds.
Yeah, I already know who BK is thinking.
Oh,
the question is even okay. I know Bracken's going to disagree, but that picture of Chris, that's just Chris. She's always smiling. She could be deep in the pain cave. She's still going to give you that smile. I mean, you want everyone except for
Patrick Bateman was always smiling.
Everybody wants to root for Chris except for you. Jack,
my pick. I am going to leave.
Take BK's pick. You know you want to do it.
I want to, but I'm
blocking. I'm blocking. You know what? Almost no matter what you do, I'm blocking.
You know what? I am taking Bracken's pick. I'm taking Sika Arning because he already picked her earlier today.
That counts as his block card.
No, it's not. I never uttered those words.
A hockey assist block card.
Yeah. 4th place at the last major. She was, I believe, the overall non-Elite 15 winner out of all age groups last year in Nice, based on finishing time. 7th place at Hong Kong. How can she be the 14th woman taken off the board?
Because she's not. She's the 15th. I'm blocking this.
Okay. This is your for the year block card.
What else is left?
All right. So Brakken with. You're doing it official. I'm locking it in.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been waiting 3 rounds.
All right. I know.
That's not who I thought you were going to go with.
You thought I was going to take Amy B?
I thought you were going to take Amy B.
I want to with all of my heart and soul, but Seika's resume is elite this year.
Mm-hmm.
Keep going, Jack. I'll let you talk about her.
I'm letting you. You stole her. She's no longer my pick.
Step on your flowers.
No. All the information's there for you.
I don't need the info. I'm trying to give you your moment. Listen,
there's no moment. You just
we said that we could throw out Glasgow because so many people had tough days. Well, she didn't. She didn't have a tough day. She went to Frankfurt and ran fast. She's proven she can run well on fast courses, and she's proven that she can place well when it matters.
Yeah, so you're still racing against the people, no matter what course you're on. Like if you're performing well and at like in the top, it still says something about you.
Yeah, when your scaled is back to it's butted up to 102.20, that's a good sign.
It took Vivian having to break an hour for Sika to miss the podium in Glasgow.
Mm.
Yep, it's a good pick.
Thank you.
All right, Jack.
Drum roll, please. This is tough. We're gonna be offending some athletes realistically.
They're offended already.
They're
I'm offended. Point. I'm offended for them.
All right, I'm just doing one last little check on this. Oh, this is a tough call.
We only didn't draft this man because JK messaged us and said we weren't allowed to.
I'm gonna pick Jonathan Wynn. I'm picking him. I don't know why he's not picking up. I guess Sika's on. Oh, it's because it has to go in order. Jonathan Wynn got 6th place at Worlds for his best finish all time. 3rd place, he got that last spot in Barcelona. Went unbroken on wall balls when it mattered. And we've said it several times during this podcast. Athletes are going to blow up, specifically on the men's side. This guy will. You mentioned it early, Matt. He's going to go out as one of 2 or 3 athletes who's like, here's my pace. Go ahead, do whatever you want. He will not be the 14th finisher in this race.
He also raced.
He will not.
Raced his way in the last chance qualifier. Like he
raced a lot.
Got that spot.
He's doing it when it counts. He uses shoulder chips as fuel. He's
going to use this shoulder chip as fuel.
To like a Ryan Kent level of finding things to fuel off of. He's got that. I think he's in a good spot right here. He has an actual borderline beef with people in this field. That's a good thing at a world championship.
And if the sleds are hard, that plays in his favor.
Yeah, if the sleds are hard, he's got one of the best sled pulls in the field. He doesn't really blow up. Is there anyone who's been more unlucky other than JK previously? Is there anyone who's been more consistent and yet unlucky to get an auto in?
Yeah, he's like one spot away and has to always go after the LCQs.
And then earlier this year, he was having, because of the 2-time thing, that's why he raced Katowice. That's also why he raced Frankfurt. Both those times, he did the Frankfurt race to get in to the Vegas race. And then he did the Katowice race to get into the Glasgow race.
Yeah.
And let's not forget, this is his 3rd world championship. The bright lights will not phase him.
Yeah.
No, he's raced like 8 times. His spread from his best to his worst is like 1:50.
It's like Pelayo, like very consistent.
He knows how to run. All right. We did it. We are approaching the 2-hour mark. It's funny. Jack said this was going to happen. Just so if anyone who's made it this far, I can assure you the doubles pod is half the length. So you will be fine. But that's 3 hours of content this week. All right. We're going to read them out. I've got Captain America and the rest of Europe. Lauren Weeks, Bo Wills, Tim Beinish, Pelayo, Menendez, Fernandez, Kate Davey, Jess Petro, Graham Holiday.
All right. Got my coach, Rich Ryan, Vivian Tafudo, Linda Meyer, Rylan Shadig, Lauren Griffith, Hitty Wiersma, and Chris Rogloski.
My team is nasty. I've got Joanna Wettrick, Hunter McIntyre, Dylan Scott, Lucy Proctor, Jake Dearden, Melanie Maurer, and Jonathan Wynn.
I picked 4th intentionally, and it worked exactly as I hoped. I'm more confident in this draft than I've been in a long time. Alex and James are going to hold it down. And then from there on out, Sinead, Emily, Tom, Ida, and Seika all have just such high ceilings. They're all going to eat up their ranking. I'm going to win this, and I will triple down on cheese curds for everyone if I don't.
However, I am going to throw this out there. Amy Bevilacqua is not going to finish 15th, and she's likely going to score, and we're all going to punch ourselves in the face.
For sure.
So,
all right. Just want to mention, if you think we picked well, picked poorly, whatever, go ahead, do that prediction contest. Just one more reminder, racebrain.media, head to the website, fill it in. It closes 1 hour before race day, so do not wait until the last second. You already know who you've got a good feeling about. And as Matt alluded to, a lot of us are going to be in Chicago, so come and find us. Rich, he's doing 2 races. He's doing Thursday at about 5:30 for the Elite 15 solo, and then doubles on Saturday at 6:20. A little before him on Saturday, Matt is doing mixed doubles at 1:50, and then Michelle and I are racing at 2:20. So feel free to say,
Jack, what's our percent of winner? Last time it was 10%.
On
what
the
is it
spot.
now?
What do you think you're going to run?
That's not fair. Then you get to adjust it live.
All right, Michelle and I are going to be, depending on the sleds, I think that we can run right around 55 flat.
Okay, you think you're going to run 55 flat? I think that we can run 59.15, and I think that if we have our day, we can run 58.30. So what is that percent-wise?
I'll give you 5%.
5%?
Yeah.
Done.
All right, 5% a winner. All right. As Jack said, let us know. Comment on the YouTube, comment on the Spotify. Let us know where we got it wrong. Let us know where we got it right. I know you guys think that you're better. We're going to find out. Come say what's up. We got these dope Race Brain stickers created by our head of creative, Michelle Navarro, Chief Creative Officer. She's the only one with the C title. Rich thinks he's got a C title. He doesn't even come on the show anymore. We don't care about him.
I have a C title.
Chief Shoe Officer.
Well, footwear, but if you want to call it that, CFO.
CSO, Chief Statistical Officer.
All right. And I am just a pleb. We appreciate you all. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Come say what's up at Worlds. We're out.